Hey, it's Adam Grant from Work Life, a podcast from TED. This episode is brought to you by Freshworks. Freshworks believes that complexity is the enemy of efficiency. So stop wrestling with bloated, expensive service software that takes forever to implement an update, where ROI is someday, not today. You've been overcharged and underserved for way too long. Uncomplicate with Freshservice for IT and Freshdesk for customer support. And with Freshworks AI-assisted service software, you'll work smarter, not harder. Freshworks uncomplicates. Learn more at freshworks.com.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything! The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu!
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
What does the term digital workplace mean to you? In today's world of AI, robotics, and AR, it's much more than an office full of people on computers. It can be anywhere from a factory floor to the top of a crane to the cockpit of an F1 car. Wherever your digital workplace may be, TeamViewer's mission is to make work better. How? By securely connecting your people with the data, expertise, or insights they need in real time to make work more efficient. By automating and streamlining IT and OT support to fix problems before they happen, to make work more productive. And by bringing all the possibilities of a secure and flexible digital workplace to all your people everywhere to make work more innovative. So discover how TeamViewer can make work better, wherever it happens across your business. Learn more at teamviewer.com/workbetter. Picture this. You're in the garage, hands covered in grease, just finished up tuning your engine with a part you found on eBay, and you realize, you know what? I could also use new brakes. So where do you go next? Back to eBay. And you've got eBay Guaranteed Fit. You order a part, and if it doesn't fit, send it back. Simple as that. So when you dive into your next car project, start with eBay. All the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love.
This is the Daily Tech News for Thursday, June 5th, 2025. We tell you what you need to know, follow up on the context of those stories, and help each other understand.
It's here. Today is a big day with the official release of the Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh my goodness! I'm Jason Howell.
I'm Window Dow.
Let's start with what you need to know with that big story. Because let's not dance around it. Today is all about the Nintendo Switch 2. We've been waiting. People have been frothing at the mouth. Incredibly high demand everywhere. Buyers around the globe waiting in lines at midnight, 12:01 to be exact, to get their hands on the console. And, pre-orders sold out in minutes. People got in the stores. They did their dance. It was mayhem, but awesomeness. Analysts do expect Nintendo to sell 15 to 20 million units in the first year, not the first day, but in the first year. So what we experienced in the last 12 hours, let's say, is only the beginning. Early hands-on experiences have been revealed online, some quirks and some issues in those. There's one teardown posted by Pro Modding on YouTube that shows that the Switch 2 is reasonably easy to disassemble. It features a custom NVIDIA processor inside, better attaching Joy-Cons. But the kickstand, a little flimsy, internally has a lot of paste. I love that word, which, could signal some challenges for repairability. That's also similarly the case with the original Switch. So, the paste, continues to exist, I guess. And, really, I think to punctuate this point, I'm not sure how you repair a staple to the screen outside of full-on replacement, but one GameStop location actually, oh, this is so bad, stapled pre-order receipts to the outside of the Switch 2 boxes that were pre-sold, pre-ordered, resulting in scratches on the screens of dozens of new consoles. Apparently the screens sit pretty close to the box lid and close enough to be completely exposed to those staples. So I guarantee you someone's having a bad day. A bunch of people, the people that didn't get their console and the person that stapled all these things. Anyways, big day for the Switch 2. Are you getting one in your household?
I don't think we are, actually. We're going to wait. I think, yeah, I know. So we have heavily invested in our Nintendo Switch, the OG. We have Joy-Cons all over the house.
Joy-Cons galore.
Just Joy-Cons galore of all sizes and shapes. Well, I guess they're one size, but they're different colors, if anything.
Right.
And I think we're now a Steam Deck household. And so I guess we're just trying to be more responsible consumers in our 40s. So I don't think, I'm very excited for everyone who is excited. And I know a lot of people are extremely excited, especially, given the games that are coming out, given all the kind of quality of life improvements. We are not personally, but I'm very happy for everyone who has received one, especially if it did not get punctured by staples.
Yeah. That was an outlier. I'm sure that didn't, there was only one place, but in that town, they should start a support group so that they can
Staplegate. I'm going to call it Staplegate.
Because, they did the right thing. They pre-ordered. They were going to get it on launch day. And now they're, wiping up the tears that fell on the floor. Right before recording, I checked Walmart, GameStop, Target, Costco, Best Buy. Unsurprising to everyone listening, they are completely sold out. I will say that Sam's Club allowed me to get one shipped by June 10th. Which I think is really not that bad. I will admit, though, that I'm not actually buying this console. I did not complete the purchase. So maybe if I got to the final page, it would cancel out, as sometimes happens in these situations. I thought that was a little weird for launch day for it to be yeah, sure, you'll receive it by June 10th. But so Sam's Club, go check it out for yourself if you want one, I guess.
I like it. I'm kind of curious whether, I've already read reports that people are already talking about replacing the thermal paste inside of the Nintendo Switch 2, which...
Replacing the paste?
Yeah.
What would they replace it with?
Other paste, better paste.
Better paste.
Better paste is a thing.
I don't trust your paste, Nintendo. I roll with my own paste.
There is a cornucopia of thermal pastes out there, and of course, your mileage might vary on the quality with which you will be willing to let sit upon your precious CPUs or GPUs.
You ever have that experience where you say a word enough times and it stops sounding like a word?
Yes.
Right
is
now,
it
paste is doing that to me.
Paste.
Yeah.
What a weird word, isn't it?
It just makes me laugh.
2025. We think about all these very complex hardware devices. It still has paste in it. It still has something that I don't know. Goo. It's just goo. It's important goo. It does help, conduct heat, but it's just goo. It's goo
that people hate. People hate finding out that there's goo inside of their Switch 2, apparently. Anyway, wow, we're talking. I did not know that this conversation would focus so heavily on paste. The new console does start at $450, so it's pricey. It's a pricey upgrade. Many of the games running $80 a piece.
Yeah.
Mario Kart World, kind of the open world version of Mario Kart, which I am authentically curious to play, I imagine is one of those higher cost games, but you can get it bundled with your machine. So, look for that. I'm sure that there are plenty of people, some listening to this very podcast, who were up at the stroke of midnight, who got their Mario Kart World game and are listening to this through bleary eyes because they stayed up all night playing their new amazing game. I'm happy to know that there is technology that gets people so excited that they want to wait out in line. That feels so 15 years ago. And we need good tech news stories like this.
Absolutely. No, right for now. Sure. So I'm so happy for all my Nintendo fans. We have kind of picked a side of the fence, or not a fence, like an octagon or something in regards to portable handhelds, but I'm extremely happy. And I hope everyone enjoys their Switch 2s. And yeah.
Let us know. Yeah. Let us know what you think. If you are one of those lucky individuals who got one, you can send us an email, feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. We'll include it in a future episode.
Well, DTNS is made possible by you, the listener. We want to thank Michelle Sergiu, Kirk Stephenson, Miranda Janelle, and Russell Backer. Thank you guys.
Yeah. You're awesome, all four of you.
Picture this. You're in the garage, hands covered in grease, just finished up tuning your engine with a part you found on eBay, and you realize, you know what? I could also use new brakes. So where do you go next? Back to eBay. You can find anything there. It's unreal. Wipers, headlights, even cold air intakes. It's all there. And you've got eBay Guaranteed Fit. You order a part, and if it doesn't fit, send it back. Simple as that. Look, DIY fixes can be major. Doesn't matter if it's just maintenance or a major mod. You got it, especially when things are guaranteed to fit. So when you dive into your next car project, start with eBay. All the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love.
In business, they say you can have better, cheaper, or faster, but you only get to pick two. What if you could have all three? You can with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. OCI is the blazing fast hyperscaler for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs, where you can run any workload for less. Compared with other clouds, OCI costs up to 50% less for compute, 70% less for storage, and 80% less for networking. Try OCI for free at oracle.com/dailytech. Oracle.com/dailytech.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Ever wonder what your lashes are destined for? The cards have spoken. Maybelline New York Mascara does it all. Whether you crave fully fan lashes with Lash Sensational, big, bold volume from the Colossal, a dramatic lift with Falsies Lash Lift, or natural-looking volume from Great Lash, your perfect lash future awaits. Manifest your best mascara today. Shop Maybelline New York and discover your lash destiny. Shop now at Walmart.
Ready to order.
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
There is more we need to know today, so let's get to the briefs.
Well, OnePlus unveiled the Pad 3, a $700 Android tablet that's set to hit the U.S. on July 8th. It's less than 6 millimeters thick with a 13.2-inch LCD display driven inside by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset. It promises 17 hours of battery life and offers accessories like a $200 keyboard and a $50 folio case. The new pad is $150 more than the previous model, which OnePlus says is due to its larger screen, as well as market uncertainties like the T word, tariffs.
Oh, yeah. I had to
Tariffs.
include that word in there. Sorry about that.
It's okay,
Yeah,
but I mean, it's the truth. It's the true truth.
Yeah. If you were wondering how thin this tablet is, it's about the thinness of the Galaxy S25 Ultra, just FYI, which I happen to have in my hands. Oh, sorry, not the Ultra. Sorry, as the Edge, which I have in my hands, which is a pretty thin drink of water, for what it's worth. We like our tablets to be thin and wafery, and this tablet looks like a really nice tablet. I hope someday to be able to play around with it.
I'm always happy to hear something that's available in the U.S. because I feel like oftentimes we talk about things that are wonderful but not available here, but this one will be available here. I do wonder about a $200 keyboard accessory. I mean, a $200 will get you a fancy enthusiast keyboard, half a decent one, but that's a lot for a keyboard accessory. I guess if you're using it for productivity, it's worth it.
Look, it's not just a keyboard. It's a smart keyboard. Okay. It's really smart, and there's no paste to be found.
A challenge accepted. Someone crack that $200 keyboard open and let us know if there's any paste in there.
Let us know what kind of paste you find. Is it the good kind that you brought to the party, or is it their horrible paste? Reddit filed a lawsuit against Anthropic, saying the company illegally scraped Reddit's content to train its AI models without permission or compensation. The complaint alleges that Anthropic's bots accessed Reddit's platform more than 100,000 times, despite repeated warnings to stop violating Reddit's terms. Now, the lawsuit accuses Anthropic of unfair competition, breach of Reddit's user agreement, and exploiting Reddit's archive for commercial gain. It has a very, very valuable archive when you're talking about human communication. Reddit's data set is really unique. Reddit is seeking financial damages along with an injunction against further data use. Anthropic, unsurprisingly, has denied Reddit's allegations and will, quote, defend ourselves vigorously with paste. That last part I put in there. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, I have a story, an update for you that doesn't involve paste, I don't think.
Okay.
But just to keep you up to speed on the Apple versus Epic case, a U.S. appeals court denied Apple's emergency request to issue a stay against enforcing Judge Gonzalez-Rogers' order that Apple must let companies link out to alternate payment methods from their App Store apps. Apple, unsurprisingly, is still pursuing an appeal of the order, but it couldn't get it put on hold while the appeal is heard. So they got to let people do this while they continue their appeals process. But
this is just one of those tennis matches that's going to go back and forth, and we're going to tell you about it every time it does.
I'm not unhappy about the current. Wait, I don't know tennis terms. What?
Yeah,
current bad.
15, love something.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, tennis.
Don't
players.
ask me. My kids, they swim and they play volleyball. If they were in tennis, I'd be much more in the know. Regulatory leaks reveal that Apple is preparing 2 new MagSafe chargers supporting the upcoming Qi 2.2 wireless charging standard, with a power output of up to 45 watts. That is nearly double the current 25 watt limit that you find on iPhone 16's MagSafe charger. So almost twice as fast wireless charging. That's awesome. The new standard enables up to 50 watt wireless charging speeds, just as a general idea of the standard itself, as well as offers improvements for magnetic alignment and charging efficiency. It's also fully backward compatible with older devices. So you can imagine the upcoming iPhone 17 might be the premier device, the premier smartphone in Apple's lineup to support this new standard. And I'm sure everyone can get behind nearly twice as fast wireless charging. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please. Well, Volvo unveiled a new multi-adaptive safety belt system that's set to debut in its upcoming all-electric EX60 SUV. The new system uses real-time data from interior and exterior sensors to tailor seatbelt protection for each occupant, allowing the system to instantly adjust its force based on passenger height, weight, body shape, seating position, and specific details of a crash like speed and direction. The system will improve over time with over-the-air software updates as Volvo gathers more data. No more one-size-fits-all, at least that's the hope anyway, seatbelt approach. You're going to get like lots of adaptation and adjustments of seatbelts based on the situation, which sounds really freaking cool.
Yeah, like in our Tesla, if I'm the one that unlocks the vehicle or comes near the driver's side door, the vehicle knows it, and everything, the seats and the mirrors and stuff like that all rotates and shifts to fit my preferences or my, kind of settings versus my wife. And so having that that type of intelligence integrate into something as critically important as seatbelt, because we're all different people with different body types. And so this makes a whole lot of sense. I love it. I think it's a really great idea, and kind of surprised we haven't seen something like this sooner.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, obviously, like as much as seatbelts are crucial, and please wear your seatbelts. I've heard some really weird stories about people not wearing seatbelts, but obviously sometimes seatbelts can also be the source of injuries just because, again, they're as they are now, they're very analog. And so they don't really necessarily fit anyone, but it sounds like the whole point of this system is to say, like, if you're a smaller person, to kind of adjust the load and the positioning so that you don't, for example, like get bruised ribs. And it even says stuff like, for if you're a larger person with more load, it'll, hold you in tighter just to, reduce any risk of head injury. I mean, all that sounds just absolutely amazing. Like, why didn't we have this ages ago? This makes too much sense.
Because computers now are smarter than ages ago, I guess. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'll be curious to see if other car makers do this sort of thing. Does it become as ubiquitous as electric windows? Because I do remember the time. I do remember the days of hand cranking those windows, and I wouldn't be bothered anymore.
I mean, we all still do the gesture, right? When we want someone to roll down their,
we know what it means.
We still do it, even though no one's done this in several decades.
Yeah, that's so true. Whack-em? Wake-em? I never know how to say this. Is it Whack-em?
Whack-a-moles.
Even though,
I don't know.
Yeah, Whack-a-moles. Okay. I'm just going to go with that. Whack-em has relaunched its Cintiq pen display tablets, a slimmer bezel-free design on these new models, higher 2K resolution, brighter, more color accurate screens, a faster 12 millisecond response times, all things that you really want out of a tablet display like this that you're using for art and all that kind of stuff. 2 size options available, one at 16 inches for $700, the other at 24 inches for $1,300. There's also an additional 24-inch version that also supports multi-finger gestures. That runs $1,500, so an extra $200 for that quality of life improvement. I have to say that's probably a pretty worth it to spend an extra $200 for that. The new Cintiqs come with, now I'm thinking maybe it's Cintiq. Anyways, come with a customizable Pro Pen 3 along with improved connectivity, which allows them to run on a single USB-C cable. The mid-tier pricing here, along with some, I'd say, pretty impressive features, make these new displays worth considering. If you're a hobbyist or maybe you're an entry-level creative worker, you should definitely look these up.
I actually have the previous, some generations ago, Cintiq, one of the Cintiqs, and it's pretty exciting. It's always like about more color accuracy, better brightness, brighter. There we go. More brighter displays. I will say that
latency too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I will say that, and I looked at the store just to make sure that the form factor is a little bit different. If you have a current, Wacom. This is the thing about tech. I've seen all these names for decades and no one ever says them out loud.
You never say them out loud.
You never say them out loud. And so you start wondering when you're podcasting, how on earth do I say this? Am I insulting someone? So there is the bezels are significantly like narrower. And normally I don't give a care about, but when we talk about bezels, especially with phones, but it is a significant decrease. So you'll have a lot more drawing space. I will say something that I noticed off the bat is that the previous generation of Cintiqs had very sloped edges. So I don't know about anybody else. I'm not an actual professional artist, so this is just me being a hobbyist, as stated. But the edges of the previous version had sloped sides, and it actually feels very nice to hold. It kind of makes me kind of like a little nostalgic for like the days you like kind of cuddle up with a sketchbook and you draw it. So like that has that nice feel to it. The new Cintiqs are very squared off. It actually kind of reminds me of like the current generation of phones. Sorry, always relating back to phones where everything's kind of like squared off and has edges to it. I don't know if that's a design trade-off to get the bezels down or whether that's just a new approach that they're going with these designs. But I don't know if you already own a Cintiq and you're thinking about this new, definitely from specs wise, like better version, the form factor is a little bit different. So take that into account. Maybe it's a bezel thing, but I don't know. It just really struck to me that they've kind of changed the way it looks quite a bit. So anyway.
Yeah. Interesting. It's like in some situations we want the bezel. And I say we, to encompass the large amount of people that are either for or against everything in the world of technology. In other cases, we don't. So it's same with curved displays. So that's an interesting thing to point out.
Yeah.
Angelo Sotira, who's the original founder of DeviantArt, is launching Layer. This is a $22,000 digital art display, but it's not for every everybody. It's not really designed for us, unless you happen to be a collector or, say, an art institution. That's really what these are designed for. They're meant to showcase generative code-based digital art in the highest possible resolution. And when you say generative in this sense, it's not generative AI, static imagery or whatever. It's code-based digital art that's meant to kind of move and evolve and everything. This display is like tailored for it. It has the CPU and the GPU inside that's powerful enough to kind of drive all this stuff integrated into the display. The display is engineered to run an artist's code live. Like I said, it has its own internal GPU to do that, with control over every pixel without compression. So things just look amazing, apparently, which is an essential component to kind of the dynamic quality of evolving digital art. It's also designed to blend into spaces, kind of stay out of the way, not be the thing people are looking at, the technology, but the art that's on it. So Tira says no expense was spared in an effort to produce the absolute best frame for digital art in these kinds of settings, places like museums and that sort of stuff. So interesting stuff there. $22,000 display.
I like it. I was going to say, I actually have a friend who worked at my first job. He left software engineering to do this kind of generative code-based art. And he primarily did it, I think, in conjunction with musicians. So his generative code would actually take in like the sound waves and kind of like, I mean, and I guess not unlike a visualizer, but a little more, a lot more complex and a lot more interesting than kind of like, you know, what you would used to get on a Winamp and stuff. But that was his whole thing. And so I was like, oh, this is so exciting. But then I looked at the price tag and like, well, that's definitely more of a museum kind of installation kind of thing, not like an average.
It'd be so cool if you were the person that had that and you're like, check out my $22,000 display.
Absolutely. It'd be cool.
Want to watch a Simpsons episode on it?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Uncompressed. Every pixel uncompressed.
Every pixel. Yeah.
All right. Well, CD burning software CD2 Wave 32 hasn't seen a software update in about 16 years. Now, in 2025, it's finally playing nice with Windows 11. With a jump to version 4.00 JP, its previous code base was tailored to Windows 7, but now it's up to speed with Unicode support, a modern Windows 11 style interface, 64-bit file handling, and even the ability to run without a CD-ROM plugged in. Old tech given new life. Lazarus set up.
Oh, do you remember the days?
Oh, gosh.
When was the last time that you burned a CD? I couldn't even tell you.
Oh my gosh. And I had so many, it was like a sad day when I had my stack of CDRWs and I had to be like, well, I'm not using these anymore. Yeah. So long. I will say that this was part of like my husband's intro to tech, and I don't think he'll get in trouble for this now, but he was a very famous pirate of music in school. Way back before we understood the impacts of like, you know, whatever, copyright and stuff like that. He got really cool at school burning CDs for folks. So I'm sure he'd be nostalgic to see this. But
look, let's not dance around it. We all lived, okay, maybe not we all, but I'm sure a large amount of people that are listening to this podcast lived through the Napster days. Mm-hmm. The Napster days were filled with MP3s flying everywhere and CD burners to put them on. Like, I'm okay admitting that, like, I did that. And it was awesome. And that was then. And this is now. And we live in a different time. I will say that out in my shed, I have a box, which is like all of my overflow, like cables and stuff like that. I mean, it's gigantic and it's just full of these things that I can't bring myself to throw away. And inside there is like the last spindle of DVD-Rs that I ever bought, and some CDRs in there, you know, that at this point are well more than, 10, maybe even 15 years old at this point. Like, did I know when I bought that spindle that would be the last spindle I'd buy? Because, wow, I bought a lot of spindles.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, my God. And then it turns out that, flash drives became very, very affordable and very, very cheap and very, very small. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah, I know. Hey, technology, it evolves. There we go.
I had to keep my spindle away from all my friends that loved like disposing of them by putting it in the microwave. Like, number one, please don't put that in my microwave. I could put food in there. And I always was determined that there might be something I would still use these CDRWs for. And I was wrong. They're just sitting.
You know what you won't find in my box of old stuff?
What?
My collection of paste.
I was going to say, is it paste?
Okay. Enough of the paste joke.
All right. Well, if you have feedback on anything that gets brought up the show, or just want to let us know your favorite paste, I'm very partial to tomato paste myself. let us know. Get in touch with us on the socials at DTNS Show on X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Mastodon at mastodon.social. For TikTok and YouTube, you can find us at Daily Tech News Show.
Picture this. You're in the garage, hands covered in grease, just finished up tuning your engine with a part you found on eBay, and you realize, you know what? I could also use new brakes. So where do you go next? Back to eBay. You can find anything there. It's unreal. Wipers, headlights, even cold air intakes. It's all there. And you've got eBay Guaranteed Fit. You order a part, and if it doesn't fit, send it back. Simple as that. Look, DIY fixes can be major. Doesn't matter if it's just maintenance or a major mod. You got it, especially when things are guaranteed to fit. So when you dive into your next car project, start with eBay. All the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
And we end every episode of DTNS with some shared wisdom. Today, Seth has a question.
Well, Seth asks, have you considered alternatives to Reddit, like a Fediverse platform like Lemmy or PyFed? It's spelled like PyFed.
PyFed, yeah, I think.
I guess that makes sense.
I've not. I mean, I haven't really considered them. I'll be completely honest. Like, I've heard very vaguely, very in passing of PyFed. I've never heard of Lemmy outside of the reference to Motorhead. It's just that Lemmy will always be Motorhead to me. So I've never used either of these. I'm also a Reddit user. I do use Reddit from time to time, and I quite enjoy it. I'm curious to know what you have to say about this one.
Yeah. So I'm a Reddit user. Well, I used to be a Reddit user. I think I got upset about their API. About their API practices. So as a developer, I kind of tried to abstain from using them just out of principle. I honestly, I've never heard of PyFed, to be perfectly frank. I do know what the Fediverse is, and I somehow pulled out of my brain that my husband does actually use Lemmy. He's, for similar reasons, wanted to move off Reddit. And he's the only person I know that uses Lemmy. And so he was the only person that I could ask about this. And so he said that Lemmy is very much like Reddit. It is people posts, like some kind of central link or image, and then people can kind of gather on a page kind of centered around that post to comment. And he said that, it's good, he uses it, but the problem that he finds, for him, that is a problem with a lot of new social networks in 2025 is just the reach and the number of people that are on Lemmy. So I guess if you really wanted to have like a kind of a discussion where a lot of people can contribute, or you get a lot of engagement, it might be a little difficult at this point in time for Lemmy, to use Lemmy. And that's just like a general statement, not anything to do with DTNS. But that could also be a positive thing. I think the one thing that I use that is semi-federated with any regularity is Blue Sky. And I know that when it first kind of started, I think a lot of people, before it kind of got big, I know a lot of people kind of cherish the fact that it was a smaller community. So I guess, I don't know. It depends on what your goals are with Lemmy. Apparently, again, this is just me speaking third hand. I did check out. So we do have for example, just to get kind of circle back in, DTNS does have a mastodon.social, which in theory, because it also runs an activity pub, as Lemmy does, that you could probably pipe one into the other, ? I'm not an expert. I'm sorry. I'm Fediverse stuff. But I did look at a post from say 2 years ago, someone asking, oh, hey, can I connect my mastodon.social to Lemmy? And there seems, and this could totally change if you know that this is different and you do this and it's awesome, and please write in and let us know. But it seems that at least 2 years ago, and it kind of makes sense, right? Because Lemmy is centered around more Reddit type posts where you have a central post and everyone kind of discusses around that, that it just didn't seem to fit. Mastodon isn't dissimilar to that, but this person indicated that the integration was not smooth and that they kind of got spammed by a lot of the, every little bit of activity from Lemmy. So I don't know if it's different, let us know. But that's kind of the thing though, is that spreading oneself thin. That's why the Fediverse seems interesting, because you don't have to like be on all the things. You just have to be on things that are federated. But I don't know. No idea. This is just my dump of things that I know about the space. So
interesting. I will say, if you go to Google and you type in Lemmy, you're not going to find this at the top. You're going to find Motorhead. So
yes.
Instead, join-lemmy.org is the site that'll take you right there. I just learned this. I put in Lemmy. I'm like, take me there. And I just got a picture of Lemmy. And Lemmy's great. So I lingered for a little while, and then I actually continued searching. So there you go.
Is there a Lemmy group on Lemmy, you think?
Probably. There has to be. I'd be so surprised if there wasn't. Is there one on Paste? I don't know. You tell us. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com is where you can share all of your thoughts about everything that we talked about today in perpetuity. Big thanks to Seth for contributing to today's show. Thank you for being along for Daily Tech News Show. And good news, if you want to keep up on music news, Daily Music Headlines is now available as an Amazon Flash briefing. Check it out and add it. We'll see you next time.
The DTNS family of podcasts, helping each other understand.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Here we go.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Banking with Capital One helps you keep more money in your wallet with no fees or minimums on checking accounts and no overdraft fees. Just ask the Capital One bank guy. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. He'd also tell you that this podcast is his favorite podcast, too. Aw, really? Thanks, Capital One bank guy. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.